Welcome back to my channel, Happy, Healthy, Whole. And today I want to talk about expectations. And I want to talk about expectations of our children, more specifically. A lot of times, we as parents, we don't really realize the effect that we have on the decisions that our kids are making, especially when our kids are very young. Oh, and shout out before I get started. Shout out to my cousin, and this was prompted. This video was prompted by a conversation that he and I had yesterday. But we don't realize the weight that we hold in our children's eyes sometimes, and sometimes they will take on things, especially when they're really young, and they're just really trying to figure out who they are and the kind of person they want to be, and what they like and what they don't like. They may take on something that they feel like we like just to please us, just to meet an expectation that they have set in their own mind. We may not have even put that on them, but in their own mind, they've kind of set that expectation. Hey, my mother really likes this, so maybe I should try this. Maybe I should do this. Maybe this is something that I should do. And I almost created this fallacy with my son because my son was really young. When my son was really young, he was a stocky kid. And every time somebody would see him, especially in our subculture, they would see him and that boy need to be in football. That boy belong in football. And my mother was an avid sports fan. I was a sports fan. So we took him down. We let him try out. He made the team, and now he's practicing. And at the end of practice one day, I just sat him down because he looked so miserable. And I said, "Are you having fun?" And he was like, "No." I said, "Okay, you don't have to do this." He said, but mom, but grandma. No, but what I like, no, but what your grandma like. No, you're not having fun. The purpose in all of this is for you to have fun. If you're not having fun, if you're not enjoying it, forget what the coach says. Forget what me and grandma like to do in our leisure time. What do you like to do? Now, sidebar, a lot of parents make mistakes in their own lives, and I get that. And sometimes they try to have their do-over with their kids, or they try to live vicariously through them. Don't do these things to your kids. I'm going to talk about this gentleman. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's a professional football player. Me and him sat down and we were having a personal conversation. And I was just looking at him and I was just like, "You're heavy." I was like, "What's going on with you?" You know, and he was expressing to me that being in the league isn't like what he initially thought. It was, and he didn't know. He didn't know if he wanted to continue his career as a professional football player, even though he was on a winning team and he was doing really well. He had the wonderful life. He had the beautiful girlfriend, everything, and it just all seemed so charmed. And I asked this young man, I said, "When you started playing football," I said, "did you start playing football because it was something you wanted to do? Did you start playing football because you were just like, oh man, I see myself out there doing it and I want to do that?" I said, "Or was it an ideal of your parents? Was it something that your parents said to you in passing? And maybe they didn't know. They might have been like, boy, you know how fast you run? You need to be on the football field. You need to be out running the ball," or something like that. I said, "Did they say something to you in passing that may have prompted you to try out for the team and start playing when you started playing as a child?" And he started thinking and he was like, yeah, I did a lot of things because I wanted my parents to be pleased with me. He said, and I kind of did it in an inadvertent way to keep my parents together because they would come to the games together. They would, you know, they were doing things around the house that were showing a unified front with regards to getting him to practice, getting him to school, and what he realized is what he was appreciating was the family dynamic that football was creating for himself and his parents, but it wasn't necessarily something that he wanted to do. So I told him, I was like, you have a wonderful career right now. I said, but football isn't something that you can do your entire life anyway. I said, so start thinking about how you want your second act to be. Because now that you're grown and you're in the NFL and you're this and you're that, I said, and I'm pretty sure your parents are still very pleased and very proud that you made it to the NFL. I said, but you were never in it wholeheartedly for you. You understand? He was doing something that his parents had set an expectation on him, all because he could run fast. There's a lot of things you can do when you can run fast. And you don't have to do anything with the running. You can just do it for leisure, where you still just enjoy the running and have you a completely different career. I know plenty of people that run because they love to run, but they are excellent accountants. They are excellent at, they're excellent attorneys. They are excellent at their job and they run for their leisure. But if you run for your job, do you lose that love for it? And a lot of people do. And that's what had happened to this young man. He had lost his love for football over the years, just out of initially starting with a parental expectation. So I stopped. I pulled my son from football. And I told my son, I sat him down and I said, hey, it's okay to be the smart kid. It's okay to have all the right answers. And now today, my son has graduated with honors from 2 colleges and from high school. He does nothing less than a 3.8 in life. And if he falls below it, he gets upset. He actually had a 3.6 at one time, and he came in here, he was fussing about this one class. Man, it done dropped my GPA down to 3.6. And I said, okay. And me focusing on what he was actually good at and getting him into things that he actually enjoyed has caused him to flourish in the arena in which he was supposed to be. I will tell you this one story. I'm going to let you go. One Thanksgiving, we were at a friend's house. We get together with these friends every year. And my son was with me, and all the boys had went outside to go play basketball. And I had asked my friend, I was like, where the boys at? She was like, they outside playing ball. I had to see this for myself. I got up because I said, wait a minute. I said, my son is outside playing basketball? I went outside, honey. My son was sitting in a fold-up chair. And I looked at him, I said, what you doing? He said, oh, I own the team. Look, there has to be business owners. There has to be somebody behind the scenes making things work. There has to be that athlete. There has to be that runner. There has to be that shower. But it's nothing wrong with being the smart kid. Have a good day.